Hi and welcome to Natural Aesthetics. So I'm now doing a program called Smolov Jr, which is essentially a 3-week cycle. Now when most people talk about Smolov, they're talking about this 3-week period within a longer periodized program. The 3-week kind of base mesocycle. It's notoriously difficult. You're lifting 4 times a week on the same lift. Now Smolov Jr is a pressing variant of the more popular Smolov routine, typically used for bench press. I'm applying it to overhead press, as that's a lift that I really want to improve. And I want to get the weight up within a short period of time if possible. So I've done Smolov for squats a couple of times now, always to great effect. If you can get through the routine, injury free, you will see a very solid improvement in your performance. So a guy called Sergey Smolov created the Smolov peaking protocol, and basically they would use it on athletes, weightlifters that had lagging squats, lagging back squats. It's very quickly able to boost your strength up on your squat. And of course your back squat has a carryover to your front squat. The front squat is a key indicator of your clean performance or potential. The greater the squat, certainly the more potential you have on a clean, as long as your technique is sound and there are no other weak areas. Generally a bigger squat will equate to a bigger clean, so it makes sense. So this is what I'll be using. You can see here by the layout of the reps and sets protocol, there is a slight difference between the Smolov routine and the Smolov Jr routine. So if you look at the rep count on a day-to-day basis, on week 1, on the first day you're looking at 36 reps, on the second day 35 reps, on the third day 32 reps, on the fourth day 30 reps. So the rep count doesn't really drop down that much over the period of a week, but of course the weight increases with each session that you're in the gym for. And then on week 2, you increase the weight by 5 to 10 kilos, and the same on week 3. I might take the weight up a little bit lower on the overhead press, because obviously the weights are nowhere near as much as I would do on the squat. When I did Smolov on squats, both times I think I took the weight up 10 kilos each week, and that was brutal. But I saw very positive results after finishing Smolov. Just be aware that you need to give yourself plenty of rest after finishing Smolov. For your body to kind of recover. A good 4 days at least, I would suggest. Otherwise you're going to test out your strength and be really disappointed. You need to give it time to kind of reap the rewards of the work you've done. So how does Smolov work? Well, I mean, it's pretty simple stuff. There's nothing too fancy about it. You're basically bludgeoning your muscles into adaptation by the sheer amount of volume you're exposing yourself to. You're either going to adapt and be able to cope with that volume and therefore reap the rewards, or you will break. You'll pick an injury up along the way. There is a high risk of that unless you can keep your recovery on point and make sure you're doing the necessary work in between sessions, i.e. foam rolling, stretching, salt baths, ice, etc, making sure your form is as close to optimal as possible, which is of course very difficult considering the intensity of Smolov. It's very easy for your form to break down. I remember when I did it on squats, and I was getting a lot of hip pain, even though I was foam rolling still on a regular basis, stretching and whatnot. But just the amount of volume that you're doing, it's very hard to go into sessions feeling good, feeling fresh. You have to learn to be able to lift when you're uncomfortable, when you've got DOMs, when you're feeling weak. I think that's the biggest thing about Smolov. You can see here by the overhead pressing. Certainly, at least by how it feels, the weights that I'm used to lifting with relative ease become quite difficult indeed, or certainly sluggish, I would say, rather than difficult. It just doesn't feel smooth. The reps, the weight isn't moving up as fast as it usually would, because you're lifting in a constantly fatigued state. So you have to prepare yourself for that when you're doing Smolov, and I'm not recommending you to do it. It's just something that I enjoy. I quite like the challenge, to be honest. People might say it's overkill, you don't need to do so much, just progressively overload over a period of time. But I just enjoy the challenge, both mentally and physically, to really test yourself out. You have to have a lot of mental grit to be able to finish a program like Smolov. So you can see here with the program that I'm not doing too much extra work. I want to keep the goal, and the goal is to improve my overhead press. So you have to be careful when doing something like Smolov, you don't overdo it. That being said, I still want to see some improvements into my physique going forwards, or at the very least maintain certain areas. So I'm using a mad cow protocol for the squats. So I'm working up to 5 sets of 5 on the Monday, increasing the weight by 5 kilos for the Thursday session, doing 3 reps, and then doing that same weight on the following Monday for 5 reps. So pretty simple stuff, kind of just chasing your tail each week. And on the deadlifts, I'll be increasing the weight by 5 kilos each week, for the next few weeks while I do this Smolov routine. Not doing too much in the way of additional pressing, of course, because I'm already overhead pressing 4 times a week. So you're just kind of asking for trouble, really. So I feel confident I'll be able to complete the routine. Just need to make sure that I'm eating enough to drive performance and recovery on a day-to-day basis. I'll keep you guys updated about how the routine's going. In the meantime, if you have any questions about my training or nutrition as a natural bodybuilder, then just leave a comment in the comment section below. I will be doing a review video for my massage gun. I'll upload that probably within the next couple of weeks, so stay tuned for that. Really, really cool piece of kit. I strongly recommend it. If you've got any questions about online training, then email naturalaesthetic@outlook.com for more info. Stay strong. Thanks for watching.